Now, I know a lot of people are angry that Jay-Z partnered with Target to release the 30th anniversary edition of Reasonable Doubt. The criticism is simple. Jay-Z's helping Target. Jay-Z is undermining the boycott. Jay-Z is giving cover to a corporation. But before we criticize Jay-Z, brothers and sisters, let's ask a more important question. Was the boycott helping Black America in the first place?
This is the Publisher's Desk with Damon K. Jones, brought to you by Black Westchester Magazine.
Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Damon K. Jones here, and welcome to another edition of the Publisher's Desk, powered by Black Westchester Magazine and blackwestchester.com, the news with the Black point of view. Now, Black America, we have to have an honest conversation today. Not about Jay-Z, not about Target, not about Democrats and Republicans, but we need to talk about outcomes. Because too often, Black America is asked to join movements, support boycotts, repeat talking points, and fight political battles without ever asking a simple question. What are the results? Now, I know a lot of people are angry that Jay-Z partnered with Target to release the 30th anniversary edition of Reasonable Doubt. The criticism is simple. Jay-Z's helping Target. Jay-Z is undermining the boycott. Jay-Z is giving cover to a corporation. But before we criticize Jay-Z, brothers and sisters, let's ask a more important question. Was the boycott helping Black America in the first place? Because if we don't know the answer to that question, then we're debating personalities instead of policies. And that's one of the biggest mistakes Black America continues to make. Now, most Black people who heard about the boycott were told one thing: Target rolled back the DEI. That's what most people heard. That's what most people repeated. That's what most people shared on social media. But when one of the boycott organizers appeared on Roland Martin's show, she outlined 3 demands, brothers and sisters. First, Target was supposed to reverse the DEI rollback. Second, Target was supposed to account for $2.1 billion commitment made in the following of the death of George Floyd. Third, Target was supposed to address the alleged involvement in the prosecution of incarcerated young immigrant named Mai Ali in Minnesota.
For the people who don't know your press release, what are those 2 demands?
Well, the first one is that the most obvious one is that Target reverses its decision to roll back diversity, equity, and inclusion. That should be obvious. The second demand is for Target to account for the $2.1 billion that it pledged in 2021 in the aftermath of the killing of George Floyd. Our third demand has to do with Target's involvement in increasing the incarceration rate in Hennepin County, Minnesota, leading to a young man by the name of Mahdi Ali, a young immigrant who, at 16 years old, wound up in prison for 2 murders he did not commit.
Now, let's think about that, brothers and sisters. How many Black Americans participated in the boycott knew these 3 demands? How many knew about the $2.1 billion pledge? How many knew about Mai Ali, immigrant? How many people simply heard DEI and stopped listening? See, because details matter, right? Facts matter. Knowledge matters, brothers and sisters. Now let's look at the $21 billion question, because many people didn't know that. Let's talk about what Target was actually doing, because a lot of people are not talking about that. A lot of these Black leaders and pastors and Jamal Bryant, Tamika Mallory, and the other sister are misleading on DEI. And they're misleading us. See, because when we hear the words DEI, we imagine jobs, getting black jobs. That's it. Getting black jobs. That's all DEI that we thought about, that we were losing black jobs. But let's look at the 21 billion, because we don't even know the whole story. Target became, and I'm not defending Target. Now, let me get something straight before some of y'all Negroes and y'all foolish people that are watching this show will say, brother, you defending Target? No, I'm telling you the facts, because if you don't know the facts, you can't make the decision. Target actually became one of the largest retail supporters of black-owned brands in America. This is before the boycott. This is from the 21 billion investment. Companies and products found shelf space in Target. Black-owned business initiatives, including black-owned beauty products, hair care brands, food companies, clothing brands, home goods, wellness products, was all in Target before the boycott. More than Walmart, but nobody's talking about Walmart. And I wonder why. Brands such as Lip Bar, Male Organics, Black Girl Sunscreen, even Tabitha Brown's product line, and numerous other black-owned businesses gain access to national consumers through Target stores. Think about that for a minute, brothers. For decades, black entrepreneurs complained that major retailers would not give them shelf space. Then one of the largest retailers in America opened its shelves to hundreds of black-owned products. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. Did every black-owned business benefit? No. But the question remains, if black economic empowerment is the goal, why would we boycott one of the largest distributors of black-owned products in America? Somebody ask that question, answer that question in the comment. Make it make sense. We didn't have an alternative. I don't see these black pastors and these black organizations opening up a national distribution for black products. We didn't have an alternative. And here's what made the debate even more complicated. Some black business owners publicly warned against the boycott, not because they agreed with everything Target did, not because they didn't understand the right to protest, not because they supported every corporate decision, but because they feared the boycott would reduce sales of black-owned brands that depended on Target shelves. In other words, some black entrepreneurs argued that the boycott could end up hurting black business instead of helping the cause. Some argued, why don't you just target the black businesses and purchases and not buy anything else? But nobody listened because these Negroes was on their grandstanding.
And of course, I have a huge partnership with Target. I sell my seasonings at Walmart. I do business all over, just like many other people. And what I can tell you is, if we all decide to boycott and be like, no, we're not spending no money at these organizations, listen, I get it. And if that's how you feel, honey, I 1000% get it. But so many of us will be affected, and our sales will drop. Our business will be hurt. And if any of you know business, it doesn't just happen overnight where you can just go take all your stuff and pull it off the shelves. There's a process. And then you got to, like, where you going to put it? You got to have a place to store it. That's money, right? You got to have another place to sell it, which is almost impossible sometimes. And even if you sell online, it's a process when it comes to business. And everyone does not have the funds or the means or the availability, the space to house their own products, right? But the thing that concerns me the most, and I want you to hear me and hear me well, if we all decide to stop supporting said businesses and say, you know, I can't buy nothing from there, even the businesses who were affected by the DEI ban, right? What that does is you take all our sales and they dwindle down. And then those companies get to say, oh, your products are not performing. And they can remove them from the shelves and then put their preferred businesses on the shelves. And then what happens to all the businesses who've worked so hard to get where they are? Then what happens, right? Now, I know that something that could solve it is ownership of these big corporations, right? It's a long way to go there, but be very specific. There's so many women, right, that have worked hard to be a woman-owned business. Donna's Recipe is two women, me and Gina Woods, my business partner. We are self-funded. We are self-funded. And we are on shelves in limited doors at Target, right? Other companies, right? There's Black History Month is coming right now, and all of these brands are about to be showcased, some of them for the first time. And of course, they would do something like this right now, but they still need their moment. They still need our support. Only if you feel like you can and are willing to. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm telling you what, as a business owner, what we still need until we can get to another place, right? And I don't know when that other place will be. I know for me, I'm under contract. I'm gonna give it to you 100. I got another year. Then I make a decision. Okay. So many other businesses are just starting. They're just getting in. This is their big break to go to the next whatever phase of their business there may be. We have to have understanding and compassion for each other and not be in an emotional state, but also a smart state. Because if we start doing I'm not shopping there, and it's our businesses that are in there, that's their way that they will clean us out and replace us and say, well, your business is not performing. That's what people want. We can't give them what they want. Okay? I hope that this is making sense for somebody. And I know it's a long video, and I know somebody might not listen to the whole thing. But this is the truth. So I want to say right now, I thank you for supporting me for the last 5 years. I have worked with Target, with Walmart, with all the places that you have shopped for my products. I thank you for showing up for me. I thank you for supporting me. When you did, I thank you for showing out for me. And if you choose not to anymore, I understand that. And I still thank you, and I'm grateful. But if you've heard anything that I've said today, if you still choose to show up for me, I thank you, but also showing up for others. We in it together, okay? But either way, be clear, I understand, all right? But remember this, if you don't remember nothing else, let's not give them what they want, okay? Don't let them take us off of shelves. Don't let them erase us. Numbers don't lie. We're needed.
And that's an important point, brothers and sisters. See, because Target has billions of dollars. Many Black-owned businesses do not. And it's easy for Black-owned businesses to use Target as their distribution. They don't have to have warehousing. They don't have to have any of that. And the fact of the matter is, you Negro leaders that pushed this, and the fool out in Minnesota, destroyed Black businesses in the process. You didn't help anything but your own egos. Your own egos and your own likes and your own clicks on social media. You did nothing for the Black economic struggle. You pushed it back even further. The irony is that many of the same activists who tell Black America to buy Black were encouraging a boycott of one of the largest retail platforms carrying Black-owned brands in the country. And because Black people in Black America, listen to me good. See, here's the problem. There's a mental problem. We haven't seen justice, real justice, in anything in over 60 years. Anything that feel like we're beating the man, anything. And a lot of times it's foolish things. We'll jump on it because our soul has been starved of justice. We'll jump on platforms that might be just foolish because we haven't had justice. And one of the reasons we haven't seen real justice because we're putting black faces in places that do nothing for us. And then you have personalities that monetize our mental illness of the lack of justice. You have protest profiteers that profit off of protests. You have black politicians that profit and gain from your pain. You have black pastors that are not following Jesus, but following their pockets and their fame. And this is the result that we have today. Because if strategy is intended to help black people and black businesses, and then it ends up hurting black people and black business, we have the responsibility to ask if this strategy is working. And that brings us to the bigger question. Now, y'all saying, well, what about Jay-Z? Well, I'm going to get to Jay-Z. Let me fly this plane right now. And that brings us to the bigger question. Who gets to decide what Black America should care about? Is it the activists? Is it the organizers? Is it the media personalities, the political consultants? Or should Black America decide first? Because too often we are told what our priorities are supposed to be. Meanwhile, our children are struggling just to learn how to read. Our communities are struggling with crime. Our businesses are struggling with capital. And we have the lack of businesses within the Black communities, within the nation. And our wealth gap remains enormous compared to other ethnic groups. And our political power remains dependent on institutions that Black people do not control. Yet somehow we are constantly being recruited to fight someone else's battle. That should concern us. It should be a concern, brothers and sisters, to everyone. Now, let's get to Jay-Z. People are asking whether Jay-Z is saving Target. Now, I don't know if he's saving Target, but I do know this. Jay-Z has always approached problems from a business perspective, whether we like it or not. The question isn't whether Target is perfect. The question is whether Black economic advancement is helped more by a boycott or by creating opportunities for Black-owned businesses and entrepreneurs. Reasonable people can disagree. Now, we understand that Jay-Z has a history of capitalizing on failed Black leadership. I'm going to say that again. Jay-Z has a history of capitalizing on failed Black leadership. Remember Black folks was talking about boycotting the NFL? And the NFL was taking a hit because Black people wasn't watching the NFL because of what they did to Colin Kaepernick. When Colin Kaepernick was speaking out on the injustices of Black people in America's justice system. And what did Jay-Z do? He copped a deal with the NFL. And then he said,
What?
Did you kneel in what you stand?
Okay. I think we've passed kneeling.
and the boycott was over. Just like that. Y'all Negroes ran and watched the halftime shows with 50 Cent and y'all watched the halftime shows. Y'all went one of the highest halftime shows was Kendrick Lamar. Jay-Z was even behind Bad Bunny. That's all Jay-Z's production. And y'all forgot that the NFL ain't nothing but some slave traders with some slaves on the field. Y'all forgot about that. That's y'all forgot. Just that quick. So what Jay-Z does, he hooks up with Target because y'all have a boycott that failed. It's a failed boycott. Black people never benefited from DEI. What are you boycotting Target for? White women. How many times do I have to say this on this show? And I still see these people talking about DEI. I still see Listen, Black people, let me tell you something. We are in the age of over-information. Over-information. You have ChatGPT, you have Grok, you have Claude, you have Google. Google is now straight AI. And if you can't take one of these platforms and get real stats on the benefit of DEI and Black people, if you can't look that up for yourself, you are fooling yourself, and you should be ashamed of yourself as an adult, as a grown-ass adult, not to see the facts for yourself. We did not benefit from no damn DEI. I don't know how many more times I can say it. And here Jay-Z swoops in and has one of the biggest deals. And if you don't think, that Black people are not going to go to Target to get a special edition of Reasonable Doubt, you're fooling yourself. And you can't, listen, Black people, y'all can't be mad at Jay-Z this time. You did it to yourself. See, here's the problem with modern foolish activism. One of the biggest problems facing Black America today is that too many movements are driven by emotions instead of outcome. We are emotional people when it comes to politics. See, because these foolish leaders have you reacting instead of investigating. They have you supporting before you understand anything. You follow these fools before you ask any questions. And if you ask questions, like I do, they try to say that you're betraying the movement, brother. You're betraying the movement, sister. See, that's the way they keep you in line to their foolishness. Let me tell you something, Black America. Y'all better start asking, because asking questions about the future of your race and your community and your culture is wisdom. It's not foolish. It's wisdom. It's accountability. That's how real adults make decisions, by asking questions. Let me tell you something. My wife get mad at me a lot because I ask questions. You ask me to do something, I'm going to ask questions. You tell me something, I'm going to ask questions. So I can be clear on what we're talking about. And as Black America, we should do the same when dealing with these fake-ass politicians and Black leaders that have led us astray. Listen, I love Thomas Sowell. I think he's one of the most intelligent Black men that is still alive in his 90s. And he spent decades teaching one simple lesson. The question is not what was intended. The question is what happened. Not intentions, but outcomes. Not feelings, but results. Not slogans, results. Not narratives, results. See, because the results and outcomes reveal the truth. But many Black people, we're just so caught up in our emotions because of the lack of justice. We don't ask questions. We jump on board without understanding proper intentions. And we move on without even looking at the outcomes. That's Black America. That's Black folks. And this is why our communities are still in the condition that there is. Now, y'all know I'm going to go to scripture. In Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed of the lack of knowledge. Because thou have rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. God has put instruments in our lives today, Black people, that we should be able to see through the BS of leaders, Republicans, Democrats, Black leaders, Black pastors. God has put instruments in our lives. And we're not using that. And in the process, God is rejecting Black people. Because we're not using his word, we're not using his warning, we're not using even the instruments he has put in the minds of all these other people to build that gives us avenues to find the truth. And yes, people like Jay-Z take advantage of that. Because what did he say? He's not a businessman. He is a businessman. So you can't get mad at Jay-Z without getting mad at yourself, Black America. For those who want to criticize Jay-Z, we got to understand knowledge matters and details matter. Facts matter, not feelings, facts. If Black America is going to boycott a company, we should know exactly why. If Black America is if Black America is going to support a movement, we should know exactly what it seeks to accomplish. The Target boycott didn't accomplish a damn thing. Actually, yes, it did. It hurt Black businesses. That's what it accomplished. Now, if we're going to judge Jay-Z, Black America, politicians and activists and corporations, we should judge them by outcomes. Not emotions, not narratives, not hashtags, outcomes. Because the future of Black America will not be determined by who speaks the loudest. It's going to be determined by who produces results. But we're only going to get the results is when Black America start asking for them. Start being emotional and following a whole bunch of these fools that's having all these boycotts, that's not producing a better educational system, that's not producing jobs, that's not producing business to give Black folks jobs, that's not producing a safe communities, that's not producing family, building the family unit. Huh? None of these people are talking about that. None of them. And we follow them. And then our community's still catching hell. And then we allow them to use the excuse, it's the Republicans, it's Trump. Ain't that a damn Republican in your town? Ain't a damn Republican on your city council? Haven't been a Republican mayor in your little Black community for the last 60 years. And you listening to these fools tell you it's Trump's fault that your kid can't read, barely can comprehend. They're not teaching trades in school, not teaching your kids how to properly use AI to become the future millionaires. And you allow them to blame Trump. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Now, if you like what I said, brothers and sisters, and if you enjoyed this conversation, please like and share. And we're going to have more conversations like this on the publisher's desk. Because we have to have the conversations sooner or later. And please go to blackwestchester.com. It's the news with the Black point of view. And also, brothers and sisters, please sign up. Sign up for our mailing list so we can reach directly out to you. When we have events, online events, we're going to start having online forums just for people who sign up, just for people on the list, that we're going to offer things that are not, that we don't just do on YouTube. Because some conversations must be held in private on how we need to build a political system that's going to address the issues in our communities throughout the nation. So please sign up, and you get a free ebook for signing up. So thank you again, and I hope you enjoy your day. Thank you for watching. Please share. Please share this with somebody. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay Blacktastic. Peace out.
Black America, political loyalty without results is not power. Sign up and get your free ebook by Damon K. Jones. A seat at the table is not power. Building the table is. This book exposes how political dependence weakened our communities and lays out a blueprint for Black economic, political, and institutional sovereignty. If you're ready to move from symbolism to ownership, this is for you. Download it free today. Follow Damon K. Jones on YouTube and stay connected to empowering conversations that challenge the mind, strengthen the spirit, and uplift the community. Subscribe to Black Westchester YouTube and at Damon Jones on YouTube for powerful content on life, culture, community, faith, politics, health, and truth that makes you think for yourself. If you're serious about political clarity and independent thinking, this is for you. The Political Thought Bundle includes 3 full books, all personally singling. Democrats and Republicans, The Ultimate Gangbangers, breaks down how the two-party system operates like a legalized street war for power. Emotional Politics, Logical Failure exposes how emotion has replaced strategy in Black political engagement. Tolerance is for Coward lays out a blueprint for extended policing and community-led public safety rooted in outcomes rather than slogans. 3 signed books. One bundle $60. That's a $75 value, and you're getting signed copies included. This isn't left versus right. It's results versus rhetoric. Go to twosteppublishing.com and secure your signed Political Thought Bundle today. It's going to be Blacktastic. For more than a century, Black America built its own economy under segregation, under discrimination, and under conditions most people today cannot imagine. We built businesses. We built banks. We bought land and property. In The Forgotten Blueprint, Damon K. Jones reveals how Black communities created thriving economic systems from 1800 to 1965 and why that blueprint still matters today. This book challenges the idea that our future depends on politics alone and shows how ownership, family, and enterprise once powered Black prosperity. The blueprint is not lost. We just stopped using it. The Forgotten Blueprint, how Black America built its own economy from 1800 to 1965. On sale now at Two Step Publishing and Amazon. Black Westchester Magazine has been giving our community a voice, reporting the stories others ignore, holding power accountable, and making sure the truth about our communities is told by us. But independent Black media only survives when the community supports it. If you believe in real journalism, community accountability, and keeping Black voices strong in local news, we need your help. Your donation helps us continue covering the stories that matter: politics, education, justice, and economic empowerment right here in Westchester. Support Black media, support Black truth, support Black Westchester Magazine. Donate today and help keep Black media alive. Because Black-owned independent media is Blacktastic. Black Westchester Magazine presents People Before Politics, the Sunday Rundown, every Sunday at 6 p.m. on YouTube. Join Damon K. Jones, A.J. Woodson, and Larnez Kinsey as they break down the biggest stories in politics, culture, and community from a Black point of view. No spin, no party loyalty, just logic, accountability, and outcomes. If it impacts Black America, we're talking about it. Tap in, subscribe, set your reminder. This Sunday at 6 p.m. is going to be Blacktastic.
This is the Publisher's Desk with Damon K. Jones, brought to you by Black Westchester Magazine, where life, culture, community, and faith meet truth, power, and purpose.